After the success of the last top 10, which thank you so much if you watched it, I was so happy with the comments on the video. You all gave lots of great suggestions, so I've decided to make a longer list made entirely of your suggestions. So stay tuned for the number one spot and welcome to 15 more LEGO Speed Champions movie and TV cars we need. Yeah, I should have put the TV part in the last video's title. To start off the list, we've got the Ferrari 308 GTS from Magnum PI, suggested by Ty Sales. As a classic crime drama with a unique setting of Hawaii, it's definitely a program deserving of a LEGO set, and one that's popular enough to justify it. My main reason for putting it at number 15 is that Ferrari is one of the most common brands in Speed Champions, with over 10 sets of just production Ferraris, and even more F1 models. So I don't think this is a reason not to make the set, but a reason for it not being an immediate one to make, if you get what I'm saying. Next up is the iconic Pizza Planet truck, suggested by Saint Squared YT. The original LEGO Pizza Planet truck is incredibly expensive nowadays and may not be affordable to the masses, me included. I'd love if they remade this set, but then why do I have it only at number 14? Well, I don't think LEGO should remake the set as part of Speed Champions, but instead in another LEGO Toy Story line or in an Icon/Creator Expert format. That way you'd both be able to fit in more of Toy Story's non-minifigure compatible characters and achieve them being smaller than actual humans. Personally, I think a larger model would get the toy part across more, even if I still couldn't afford it, but the suggestion itself was still great. Coming in at number 13 is another Back to the Future idea, Biff's Ford Super Deluxe, suggested by Daniel Milner 664. Even if I'd like a full LEGO Back to the Future sub-theme, a great way to get more sets would be through Speed Champions with so many more great vehicles within the trilogy. A great follow-up would definitely be Biff's Ford though. This would obviously be an opportunity to get a Biff Tannen minifigure and Marty McFly in his sort of 1955 disguise. But outside of Back to the Future, it would add to the classic cars that really aren't seen too often in this line. Of the many possible Back to the Future ideas, this one is my personal favourite, and you could recreate the tunnel chase at the end of part 2 really well if they made this set. For number 12, my UK bias shows through again with the twin Ford Capris of the Professionals, suggested by Honky Horton. These two cars will be popular with the legacy of the Professionals, inspiring many series. Here though, we're just looking at the original series and the Capris most people remember from the series. I doubt that LEGO would include two of the exact same or very similar builds in the same set though. To get the point across properly though, if they don't do them as a 2-pack, they could maybe do a sort of part way through the life recolor like the big yellow Fiat 500. So potential there, and it's definitely one worth doing either way. Moving right along, we've got the Police Ford Taurus from RoboCop. This was one of many great suggestions by Brad White 5884. The big reason for this set was definitely a RoboCop minifigure. That's not to say the police car itself isn't worth it, but I feel like most people would buy it for the minifigure, at least, general audiences. Even still, I think having a regular LEGO police car that isn't from City is incentive enough for me to put this on the list, even without the franchise. It's not likely with LEGO being terrified of mature licenses. That doesn't stop me from putting it on this list. Now we're going to slow the cars down slightly with our next pick, Mr. Bean's Mini. You get it, because the Mini's not very fast. Oh, God, this was a stupid idea. This was suggested by Benix amongst so many others. Many well-known American sitcoms have gotten sets over the years, and this has always made me wish for some more classic British sitcoms to get translated into LEGO. Mr. Bean would probably be one with appeal outside of Britain that could justify a LEGO set as well. The idea was recently amongst the LEGO ideas like poll, so it's definitely got potential. To ensure the set is as good as possible though, the mop and share should be included and would make the build feel more complete overall. Considering the many mocks and ideas submissions, I don't understand why LEGO hasn't released a set of the Mini yet. At number 9, we've got either the Ferrari Daytona or Testarossa from My Anime Vice, which was another one suggested by Brad White 5884. Either of these would be cool Ferrari options with different colour options of either white or black. Should be a nice change up from the usual red. Both would be nice classic cars too, which, is always good to see since Speed Champions focuses so much on modern cars. Considering the legal disputes around the Daytona around the time of the series, the Testarossa would probably be more likely. The set would tie in nicely with the upcoming Miami Vice reboot film, so maybe it's in the cards. Who knows? For those classics comes another, the Mustang GT from Bullitt. A few people suggested this one, such as John Sweet 8508, who also mentioned the film's Dodge Charger, but the Mustang would suffice for me. One of Steve McQueen's greatest films, the star car would make an excellent pick for Speed Champions. We recently got the new Mustang Dark Horse, so the classic GT would complement and contrast with that one pretty well. In the 6-stud era, Speed Champions did a more race car styled 68 Mustang GT with a similar dark green colour, but an improved and more plain design would work wonders. LEGO tends to not do older films unless they're connected to popular franchises, though that's not a reason to not do it. A great shout again. At number 7 we have Christine from Christine. This was first suggested by Muddy Mushroom, who was also the first person to comment on the last video, so their engagement was heavily appreciated. Horror films aren't the usual source for famous cars, but this one has clearly had interest by the community. The Plymouth Fury would be heavily stylised in comparison to most Speed Champion sets, with the large fins and 50s design language. The Fury from Christine would still be cool and would help fill a unique niche in Speed Champions. Sentient cars. Just before we get into the top 5, another UK favourite has slipped in with the legendary Audi Quattro of Ashes to Ashes, as suggested by Baz Fairbrother. As you may realise, the Quattro is one of my favourite cars, and it's primarily because of this series. The car is just phenomenal and looks best in that bright red. Quite bold for a City supporter, but great anyhow. Again, this is very specific to the UK, but I do think the appeal of the Quattro outside of Ashes to Ashes is potentially a help to its case. Now, if we get the Quattro based on Ashes to Ashes, the Ford Cortina from Life on Mars would have to be made first, even if I like the Quattro more. Or LEGO could just make both anyway. That would be preferable. And now we get to number 5, which is the Pontiac Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit. This was one I really should have had on the last list, looking back. Thankfully, many people suggested it, so here it is. This was first suggested again by Bradwhite5884, but others like J. Scott Wiggins Jr. 3946 also suggested the model. That golden emblem and trim on the all-black body is striking and well worth a LEGO model. Kit, another Trans Am, was featured last time, and this one is just as worthy of Speed Champions. There was also a suggestion of the Pontiac police car from the same film to go alongside the Trans Am, which would get the point of the film across better. Either on its own, in a 2-pack, or alongside the film's lorry, the Bandit's Pontiac is a worthy contender. Next is the 60s Dodge Charger from the Dukes of Hazzard. This model was suggested by several people like Oki Tactical and many others. With over 140 episodes under its belt and being a top viewed series, the Dukes of Hazzard is another classic property LEGO hasn't yet explored in their lineups. If they were to though, the car is a logical first step considering how famous it is and the series' focus on vehicles. Both Bo and Luke Duke would make great minifigures, and the set would be more complete with both now that we can have 2 minifigures in single Speed Champion sets. So in conclusion, this bright orange muscle car is certainly worthy of Speed Champions and wouldn't look too out of place with other boldly coloured Dodges. Coming in at number 3, we have the Mach 5 Speed Racer. This was one of the most highly requested cars in the last video's comments, with many people, most prominently Inferno Gaming 6925, suggesting it. This is such a cool design, with that really nice all-white body and red M at the front. LEGO previously did Speed Racer sets for the 2008 film, but those have become pretty pricey.
Sweet baby Jesus and the orphans!
Not to mention Speed Racer himself looked like this. Those builds were actually 8 studs wide like Speed Champions, but were very blocky even with several sloped and curved pieces being used. I'm sure though 2026 LEGO building techniques could do the car more justice. Whether it's based on the original manga/anime or the 2008 film again, fans have shown it needs doing. Just before the number 1 car, we have the A-Team van. This was Bradwhite5884's final suggestion for this list, and I think it was the best one. Like Knight Rider, the A-Team have appeared before in LEGO Dimensions, but only B.A. Baracus was made as a physical minifigure. A full-size A-Team van with the sliding door and full interior would be a phenomenal set, if done correctly, including the full crew. I bet many people have been dying to get Hannibal, Faceman and Mad Murdock ever since seeing their digital minifigures in Dimensions, or since, LEGO started doing licenses. With it being a van too, you could also more justify a higher price that would come from having 4 minifigures in the set. This iconic black and red look is famous to many people, and it deserves more representation in the world of LEGO than a Dimensions fun pack of all things. And now we've reached what I think was your number one suggestion, the famous Bluesmobile from the famous Blues Brothers film. The person who suggested my top spot was Tord 6725 with some more Ghostbusters ideas alongside that, but this one was my favourite suggestion he gave. This revamp of the 70s American police car would be an excellent addition to Speed Champions. How it comes about in the story is funny and gives the vehicle some character to it. The car is featured prominently throughout the film with lots of absurd chase scenes that make it even more memorable. The final big thing about this is the siren on top of the car, and it adds a lot of, intrigue to the car, which a LEGO model should definitely have. This set would do really nicely with the Ideas Ecto 1 or an updated Speed Champions version of that set. Getting them both at the same time would be very nice as well. Many thanks to Tord 6725 for this. And that's the list. Again, thank you so much for all the suggestions. I know this video took longer than I anticipated, but I thank you for hanging in there. This list is far more comprehensive and well-rounded than the last one, almost entirely because of your suggestions. After the massive undertaking of this video, though, I'm going to take a break from the videos and maybe return in the summer. When I do come back, though, I want to make more videos that you actually want to see, so leave comments below about what you want to see from the channel in the future, whether it be more LEGO videos, car-based videos, model car videos generally. I know we also do Disney Cars videos at the moment. Whatever you want to see, let us know and we'll all consider it when we come back. Anyways, that's all for now, and thank you for watching, so take care.